absolutely wrecked. I love it. That's the best feeling in the world. Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having a magical day. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. Simi Bean really appreciates it. Today we'll be playing Esper Control. We're gonna break down the deck list, talk about strategies, synergies, showcase everything in the gameplay footage, and then wrap up with our final thoughts. So make sure to support the channel, right? Those thumbs up are free, and it's just the best way to support me. Other than, financially, that's pretty cool too, right? So you can find the community invite links, everything within the Linktree link, just in the description below. So yeah, let's take a look at this deck. All right, hopefully the cat quits bugging us. Esper Control is a 60 card best of one deck with a 3.9 average mana value, 36 non-creatures, which is pretty crazy. The 24 land here as well. Plus we have a few modal lands within the inversion and the mauling, right? So bringing us up by 4 additional lands to 28, which is really, really cool, right? And then we've got a couple planeswalkers in the deck. Teferi, who slows the sunset, Professor Onyx. I feel that these two go very, very well together. Teferi is untapping your lands, and Professor Onyx has the Magecraft ability, which is really cool, plus that draw, right? So both of them are going to gain you life, which is really important in such a aggro-oriented meta. Teferi's +2 gains you life. The Professor Onyx Magecraft gains you life, which is really nice, right? So we're doing that. Of course, both emblems will probably just win you the game, especially when they're tied together. The Teferi emblem, untapping, all of your permanents, which is crazy. You can just recast a whole bunch, and that's going to trigger the Magecraft, which is really cool here. Liliana or Onyx also has the -3 for removal, which is cool, and then the -8 to exile the hand and basically just give lethal if you ever do get there. And then Teferi's minus is going to help you draw, which is nice as well. We have just basic control shell. Not much is changing here. Focused primarily around Alrund's Epiphany. Nothing new here. This card might get banned. It honestly might get banned. And we're balancing it with Test of Talents, right? Because even though we're playing in Best of One, the majority of the meta that's not an aggro deck, in fact, I would say every single deck that's not an aggro deck is running Alrund's Epiphany. It's got to be 90% of them, right? So Test of Talents is absolutely amazing, but it's not just other Alrund's Epiphanies that you can hit. You can hit Blood on the Snow too. You can hit the Memory Deluge, and really anything with Flashback for that sake, because it's super efficient, and then they can't recast it from the graveyard because it's gone to exile, right? So Test of Talents is in here with Alrund's Epiphany alongside the Planeswalkers. We have removal, Shadow's Verdict, Baleful Mastery, Hogwarts Mauling, right, to help get us there. We also have a Vanishing Verse as well as Ondu's Inversion, right? So a lot of removal on top of Professor Onyx's minus ability. We have the Divide by Zero, which can bring us into the sideboard for more removal. Introduction to Annihilation and Reduce to Memory are there as well. Counter magic, not only through talents, but Disdainful Stroke as well, because, sometimes there's creatures or, planeswalkers that are really nice just to deal with. Before they hit play, Divide by Zero can offset your opponent's play by a turn, hopefully give you a tempo play, as well as that sideboard, right? So that's kind of like a counter as well. We can play our opponent's cards through Siphon Insight, really good instant speed stuff, and draw our own cards through Faithful Mending, right? So you really want to determine what you're playing against and then mend into the answers proactively, right? You want to definitely, if they're playing Alrund, you want to be proactively looking for that Test of Talents. If you're playing against an aggro deck, you want to be proactively searching for Shadow's Verdict, maybe a Mastery and an Inversion, right? So that's kind of what you're doing there. If you have all of those in hand already, then, look for Alrund's Epiphany, look for some Planeswalkers, potentially, right? Memory Deluge is going to help us draw, and Professor Onyx's plus ability is a really nice draw as well. Sunset Revelry, potentially a draw, tokens, and 4 life, which is, absolutely incredible. The Insight is basically a draw as well, and Faithful Mending, draw and discard. So lots of draw, even Teferi draws with the minus, so a ton of draw within the deck. Divide by Zero can be used to discard from your hand and draw, but I don't recommend that. Teachings of Archaic is even more draw. We can bring a Planeswalker back. We can, make a bunch of tokens with Mascot Exhibition or Confront the Past and Environmental Sciences to help us ramp, and potentially shutting down something we don't like with an Academic Probation for a turn, or an attacker to keep a Planeswalker alive, right? All options. We have Field of Ruin to destroy other Hall of the Storm Giants, and of course we have our own Hall of the Storm Giant to get down and dirty late game after an Alrund's Epiphany. So, get those Planeswalkers out, put those Alrunds on top, and, play the control game throughout that process. That is the overall strategy of the deck, and now we will get the opportunity to showcase all of this within our gameplay footage. So again, thank you all so much for your time and attention. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to like the video to show your support, and yeah, let's go see how we make out. Going first. Let's go. We can do this, you guys. Don't be so scared. We have a Verdict. That's like a big deal for this deck. We have blue land. Right? Mending talents are open. Interesting. I've been building a Grixis deck. Don't use this, though, in mine. This is just a dragon jam. We need test. Land is nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't really want to toss the walkers. Verdict may be a dead card. That's our turn. We have another Mending. Play a land. They tap out for a hunt. I think, that's fine by me. Looking for dragon removal. I'll go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Toss one land. And a divide. It's a bummer, but we have to prioritize what we have that will work. There's no counter here. Shouldn't be doing damage. Let's take our draw. Mending in hand. The land is flowing. We're going to need to keep drawing. With black and red, they may just remove Teferi with destroy or damage. Blue, they could have a bounce effect, something like this. So we're kind of chilling. If 6 in hand, we only have 5. So Teachings is dead. This is our second black source. We could have 6 mana, but I wouldn't dare. So it's going to be Epiphany over. Obviously, Teferi can only plus. And tap our blue land. And we're chilling. If we can get Professor Onyx out before an Alrund, that's like really nice, but I'm worried. Divide by 0 on our end step on a Teferi. I think it's fine. It's a bummer, sure. But we're just going to -2 again. And that's good, right? I'm not casting this on anything other than Alrund's Epiphany. Unless we can get a second one in our hand, and then we've got a little bit of wiggle room. That's their 5th land. This dragon is definitely going to get out of hand right away. But Professor can minus on it. Dragon's good. Let's mend it up. The Revelry's not doing much here. And I'm going to take the dragon, give them a draw. Might be a counterspell. Nope. Right, and now we're okay for a bit. Oh, they're tapped out. We didn't get our land, though. To ferry out with the plus. Untap the land. And we have tests open if it's an all-round. They only have 6, so there's no counter magic to protect it if it is. A hunt. That's okay. So Fairy stays alive. This is good. Land out. So it's like 1, 2, 3. Oh, actually, Zed, that's gotta be black. Tap the creature. Untap the dual land. Siphon Insight them and still hold up 4. Right? We have Verse and Talents open. I'll take the Hunt. And I'll play that, actually. We like the Learn. We like the Teachings. I think, unless they fold out super quick, which could be bad. What if they're not using Allround's Epiphany? They have to be. They're tapped out, though, and this would be an amazing card to take. Let's allow it. It's a good card. It is nice to take, but we don't have that second copy, and if it's just all run town, then I would rather deal with that. I'm pretty sure. You guys let me know if that's a misplay or not. Should we have dealt with this? I mean, it makes the Teachings easier to get away from. There's their 7th land, an egg, which we can exile. Grasp pushes the egg up. We gain 1 life to 32. Woof. Teferi gets hit for 2, that's fine. Take the egg. There's still the land that we need to deal with, I guess. We have 2 mana. Teferi's dead next turn. Definitely stroke, right? We kind of outplayed our talents on accident. We have Field of Ruin to kill that land, which is great. Let's see their attackers. So Teferi goes down. Or should we... No, Teferi goes down.
Only time will tell.
Guaranteed this gets countered. 100% they counter our Deluge. They don't. We get another test and we get another Deluge. Holy. Wow. How the tides are turning. I will take that. So what else do they have in their library? They have tests, they have the egg, commands, bunch of epiphanies, burn down the house. Okay. So Alrund's epiphany. And can we exile their test of talents as well? I'm gonna counter this too. Because they're gonna double Allround, and if they get it off, then we can't do anything. Alright, do we got them both selected? There we go. And now they're just gonna go for it. Absolutely wrecked. I love it. That's the best feeling in the world. Hit for 2. We got plenty of life, so I'm not concerned about that at all. They're totally tapped out, so we do it now. And we have chump blockers for their land. Let's take the draw. Exile's cool. We're at 30 cards left, no attacks.
There has to be an answer here.
Absolutely dismantled with Test of Talents. They had access to it as well. But we were hitting those cards one by one. Oh my gosh. I love it. On the draw, keeping 7. Giants, Henge Gate, Mending. Just racing. Not into the Verdict. It's a control deck. Try. I was so excited. I was like, yay, we have the removal in hand. I guess we don't need it. gross. So they're just drawing card on main phase. Good news for us. Oh gosh, we'll discard a Teferi and an Inversion. Mauling in play. They have 5 in hand, we have 6, that would match. It doesn't get us anything. They get their own Teferi out, I wish.
Someone call for a hero?
They'll minus. No, they're going with the plus. A little greedy there, I think, but who among us? Could you imagine if they countered us for 1? I, on the other hand, choose a different road. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it might be good to get into that. Revelry is great, though. Like, if we hold this till late game and they have advantage, that should help pull us back a little bit. I don't know. My Teferi art's cooler, so, you know, we probably are going to win this, right? Both full art, but one borderless alternative art. I like them. They're both pretty cool. Which is your guys' favorite Teferi? Our opponent's thinking, I get it. It's not an easy match. Take your time. There's a red source there. Are they going straight for an all-round? I'm interested. They are. So Teferi's dead. Do they have another? They could play a land Teferi for 7. We need a second black source. We lose our boy. You're my boy, Blue. Deluge, instant speed when they've already played a land. This is a strange bank. People love doing it. Oh, Teferi can untap a blue source. I gotcha. Teferi's into Emblem Town soon. Where were you just a little bit ago? LOL. Second white source as well. If they tap out, we could Field of Ruin their Field of Ruin. Right? Like, if they go out of using their Ruin, like, if they tap it, we can kill their Ruin, and then our haul is still okay. They're at 28.
Second there. Who's counting?
Verdict is a dead card. We take Teferi, pull their counter magic out on their end step. Right, there's going to be a counter spell here. It'd be funny if they foretold us saw it coming, because they can't foretell and cast on the same turn. That would actually be something. They divide it, that's fine. They still have 3 available mana. Ay caramba. Let's try again. I mean, they're at emblem territory, so we have to take it. They have to counter this. And sadly, we have to take all of their counter spells. They have the iteration, they have a Doomscar, they've got the draw. Stadium, more Teferis, iterations, and all runs. So we need, oh, and they have Test of Talents. So we need to find more Test of Talents, just like as soon as possible. So that's actually not that bad. Hopefully they didn't top deck something incredible, because we're totally tapped out for that play. Uh-oh. So that was a Doomscar or an All-Run. But I don't know why. Oh, because they want to copy it. They want to copy it. So if we don't find a Test of Talents off the top, we're so close to being screwed. What if we take their Test of Talents? We should be doing this on their upkeep, probably. Interesting. Ask and ye shall receive. Holy Toledos. Sunset Revelry is becoming better, and they do, they take it. They're taking it. Oh! I don't have a basic island in deck. That saves them. That absolutely saves them. Oh, no, it's colorless mana. It's colorless mana. I don't need the blue. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Could be a Doomscar foretold. It also could be that Alrund's Epiphany, and they just wanted to reduce the mana of it. They're tapped. We just burned them with their own tests. That Doomscar's still there, so it's definitely an all-run. But they're tapped. Almost tapped. Doomscar over, fully tapped. And they attack. What a top deck! So let's go for it. I don't have a second blue source. What is wrong with me? Let's draw a card this way. I can't use that blue on the insight. So for as lucky as we're getting, we still need a little bit more luck, right? We need an island off the top. Because this is Grim. They need their own test of talents. We can take the damage. Do not care. Really? Well, don't mind if I do, Hugh. Don't mind if I do. Does this draw their test of talents? That's alright, but they're gonna really wish they waited on that, I think. It's good. They see our hand, though, which... It takes the surprise factor away. Happy birthday! I got you something. I hope you like it. They're digging through our deck, right? They're looking at it. That's kind of what you do with Test of Talents. It's like, what's in your hand? What's in your deck? And I'm taking your best card, by the way. Yeah. They snagged our insight. Man, I wish we had that 8th land. I mean, there it is. For later. We can hit for 2. Feeling pretty tough about that. We're gonna put a basic island in the deck, I guess. Never has that screwed us before. Typically, you know, we have those 2 blue sources out. I don't know where all of our, what are they even called? The deserted beaches are. There's no card draw here. There's no life gain. There's no creatures. They just literally threw that away. Oh, they get value. They get to draw off the second. Okay. Sure. Hit for 2. You're gonna bounce this with a divide. Oh, they don't. So I immediately minus. Just get the advantage. Thank you for the blue source. I've been looking for you. Teferi will die. That's okay. I wanted just to pull the divide out. And it also takes away their 2 points of damage on us. Oh, I was just thinking, if we get rid of their Field of Ruin and then we get a good land, we're safe. But they dropped a second. Barry gets sacrificed. Womp, womp, womp.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
So, I believe that we can Professor. Pull out their Divide by 0. It's fine. We'll hold up Test of Talents on their mascot exhibition. They will probably Galvanic Iteration it, unless they're gonna Galvanic the Teaching, which would be fairly good as well. We can't counter the Teaching. They know we have Stroke. That's probably why they take it as in opposed to. Strokes are good still against those all-runs, and that's probably why... well, one's an all-run. Maybe 2 of these are all-runs. One's a Doomscar. They're at 26. We're at 33 as far as library goes. 6 lands out. Hit for 2. Professor out. And it has to be another Divide. We get the plus out.
Even you can master death.
The Deluge is just so good, but we've also not played a land. And we get access to the Deluge from the grave, which is pretty good. We could gain life. No card draw, no creatures. We get the Magecraft trigger. I think we just take it for that alone. Right? 4 life, well, 6 life, really, if you think of it that way. Brings us up to net neutral. I like that. And we hit for 2, and, you know, now we're kind of winning this race, as opposed to being back a little bit. Our opponent, you know, has just feeling demoralized looking at our hand, I'm sure. Right, they have only Divide by 0 and what could be a 3rd Test of Talents. They've, of course, have spent 2 of them. Well, we spent 1 for them. That was fun. I really like that. Holding up the double counter, viable, but we can't, like, it's I don't know what we're countering that's greater than 4, right? Other than the all-run. So let's take that plus. Oh my gosh. And we're at 10, so let's take a turn. There's a Magecraft. They are going to attempt a counter. No counter. Yikes. Hashtag iCarumba. Hit for 2. This is starting to come together now. And turn our turn. Take that big ol' plus on a Lily. Aw, just lands. But hey, we've not played one. That is out. Let's hit for 4. And our turn. So this is, you know, went from pretty good to absolutely unbelievable. 4 counters in hand. That's all she wrote. They can manage Liliana. And we'll just kill with Magecraft here soon. Here's the stroke on the Doomscar, 2 damage. And we could just stack up here. Yeah. The Magecraft is sick. Down to 6. What else you got, Willis? Really good game, though. I had a lot of fun. Thanks so much for the match, Rocco Loco. Good luck on your push into what I can only assume will be the #1 Mythic rank. Just having fun with Test of Talents. It's really cool. I can't believe that we got to pull their Test of Talents with our Siphon Insight, and then we snagged their Deluge, I think. Having a lot of fun with the Esper deck. It's really good in those control versus control matchups, I feel like. The aggro matchups are still a little tough sometimes to avoid, but, you know, we're working on that. We're going to get there. Let's break. Our opponent goes first. 2 lands, fulfilling all of our colors. Why not risk it for the biscuit? Why not? Hello. Good game. Having tough matches today. Another mono white. Can we dodge the binder and pull a verdict on time? Hit for 2. Blue source out. Hopefully we don't get burned there. And it's not our... Because we'll find a second black, though. It's okay. And Faithful Mending is just going to get that Shadow's Verdict ready for us. The Sentinel would exile it, so we wait until it attacks. Redane really, like, really hurts. So we discard the Stroke because they don't have 4 or greater. And one of the lands. Faithful Mending, you know, just before the Sentinel attacks. Teferi can go. Divide can go. Just looking for removal. We could still student cost. We're only dropping to 4 next turn. Getting hit for 7, down to 10. Ay caramba. Pass our turn. We Mending after they attack with the Sentinel. All we need is to top deck. It's not that hard. We can do it. There you go. Come on, Verdict. Where are you? Siphon Insight's not helping us find it. We would drop 5. We can top deck it. %. Is not enough. So we could go up to 6. Get hit for... Yeah. Not happening. That's just game, right? Unless we grab a piece of 2 mana removal. Even then. No. Too slow. Alrighty. Esper control seems really, really nice if you can get established, right? If you can find your way past the aggro matches, it's feeling a lot better. As far as those aggro matchups go, I don't think it's aggressive enough with the wipes without the Sunset's Revelry. We may need a Doomscar to cast on 3 and just weight the deck more towards white. I don't think that's a problem. I think that could definitely help us out a little bit. Or, you know, we just really focus on getting that Revelry quick. As a side note, when you're determining what deck you're playing against, if it's the mono white deck and it's Redain, because this is what's going to screw you up, as you've seen it get us in today's video. If you suspect Redain, you need to hold up that instant speed removal for when she enters play, right? So she enters play, they're tapped out, you remove it, and then you still cast Shadow's Verdict. Yes, it's a bummer because you're spending your single target and then your wipe, but the 2 extra turns that it pushes that verdict out into the future, it's enough for them to definitely smash you twice over again, I feel like. So that's kind of what I've got to say for the deck. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like the video to show your support, join our community, partake in the contest, the giveaways, the tournaments. There's a ton of things for free happening to support you guys for supporting me. Love y'all. Have a magical day, and we'll see you soon in the next deck.